So, hey guys, a lot of new things have just come out today, so we're just going to take a quick look at all of it, I guess. So, first off, Magicians of Bonds and Unity is now craftable for some reason. Well, why would you need more than one? I have no idea, but okay, there you go. We have new accessories, so card backs, icons, that type of thing. And there is now a new Justina Elblick secret pack, which is nice, I guess. Well, if you wanted to play Justina anyways, I don't think the Elblick cards really have that much synergy with Justina, so yeah, that's not like insanely insane. And then over here, we have 3 secret packs that got updated, so that would be essentially just the older selection card, new support. Those are going to be put into their respective secret packs now. So, Lightsworn support, a Romage support, and then Gen X support. That's it. Nothing super interesting there. The real interesting thing is the new selection pack, Dragon's Reincarnation. Here we have a lot of interesting, I guess, new cards. So we're just going to real quick look at all of the new cards. So let's go here. Cards included in this pack, and then we'll filter by newly added cards. So I've read some of these cards already, just ahead of time. So we have Vardress, the final bringer of the end times. So this is a unique monster in the sense that I don't believe we have many rank 10s. In terms of rank 10s, I think we have like Gustav, and that might be it. I suppose this helps out Eldlik a bit. Is that why they're releasing the Eldlik Destina secret pack at the same time as when we're releasing Vardress here? I guess that makes sense because I believe both those decks can make rank 10s, and I don't think there are many other decks that can make rank 10s. But if we wanted to be really cool, I guess, to make this card, I believe we could probably do something relating to Bestials to make a Vardress, and to make it maybe just a smidge more reasonable, we might play this with like, I don't know, XYZ armor cards, just like maybe. So idea of maybe we're playing Bestials and we're able to go into Dispatter, and we started with Lubellion in hand so we can get access to Branded Regained, and we have like Dispatter plus Baron. After we use the Baron Omni, we can go into Vardress or something with the quick XYZ effect. And then whenever we detach a card, we can detach Dispatter first and summon it back with Regained, I suppose, or we can summon it back on a later turn. Either way is fine, I guess. But anyways, the main effects that we're looking for here. The start of the damage step. If this card attacks while it has material, you can destroy 1 card on the field. So this is a non-targeting destroy right here, and this does not require you to detach. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card to negate the activation. So this is an Omni negate that negates activation, so fairly powerful. And then you have the option to detach 1 additional material from this card, then destroy 1 card on the field, non-targeting. And because it is non-targeting, you can also destroy your own card. So you could destroy something like a Scythe with this if you really want to, I suppose. So continuing on, if this XYZ summon card is destroyed, you can also destroy 1 card on the field. So at most on your opponent's turn, the most things you can get off of this would be Omni Negate, destroy a card, and then you might pop this for like, let's say DP. And then if we were to just pair Vardress with DP by itself, that would be pop 1, 2, 3 times with 1 Omni Negate, which is 4 interactions, which is not bad overall, I suppose. So that's pretty sick, I guess. It is notably also a dark wire monster, which might not mean a lot. And I mean, genuinely, it doesn't mean that much to me either. But also, I don't think this effect here would be that great if you were having to deal with some goblins. So notably, it says, though, if this XYZ summon card is destroyed, so that includes battle as well. So pretty neat, I guess. So the thing about this card is it might be an Omni-Negate here, as you can see. So that might seem like the most deadly part of this card. But if you think about it, even while this card is negated, it's still somewhat of a threat because of this effect here. You have to out it, hopefully without destruction. So you can't destroy it with a card effect, nor can you destroy it by battle. If you were to banish it or something, I guess that would work. But that's a little bit of a sneaky effect right there. The primary issue with this card might be that it's a rank 10 that requires 2 level 10 monsters to make. I mean, if you could rank up into this for free, I guess it's not like going to be that big of a deal, but I can't think of like, I don't know, a solid rank 9 deck. So yeah, there's that. And also, I don't know of that many rank ups that can make Varadris, so all right. Continuing on. We have Vados, the Dragon of Endless Darkness. So Vados requires Vados, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, +2 plus level 9 or lower Pyro monsters. So I haven't really read through this, so I don't know like how plausible this is to make. Cannot be destroyed by card effects, so randomly can't be outed by Varadris, but okay. Also, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects, so essentially DPE, kind of, but a little bit worse because this is only monster effects. If this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. When your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, quick effect, you can send one face-up Ashen card you control to the graveyard, destroy that card. So essentially what this guy has is just, so first off, this requires, I guess, 3 guys to make, unless maybe, well, I guess Vados, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, probably is not going to be a Pyro, right? Vados, the Eruption Dragon. Shaman, Spearhead, Vados, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction. This guy. Yeah. Okay. This is also a Pyro. Does that even count for the other thing? Probably not. So this just requires 3 guys for macro wipe. So the macro wipe, I guess, is at least decent, and this is only macro wiping on your opponent. But if your opponent doesn't really have macro, this is like a Draco Berserker, or arguably a worse version of Tixing Longwan. So that's fine, I guess. It's not like that bad. It also has the somewhat annoying protection on it. Is that really that great? Huh. Can also be destroyed by battle, I suppose. Well, whatever. We'll have to see how good the archetype is at bringing out this guy, or if it's like purely a disadvantage machine, because if you need to use a fusion spell, which I'm assuming you probably don't because this is a modern fusion deck, but if you did, right, that would be Vados, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, +2 level 9 or lower Pyro monsters. So that's like 3 cards, and then the 4th card being the fusion card, like whatever it is, the polymerization equivalent. Even if it can use itself from the graveyard, you still have to get like all these guys into rotation. But I guess if you can use from the graveyard, it's only going to be about 2 cards worth of like materials, I guess. Aside from that, like probably not that bad, but we'll have to see how you summon it, I guess. That's the main thing, because the effect doesn't seem that insane unless it's relatively easy to put out onto the field. So Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. This looks like just a fusion version of Light and Darkness Dragon. So this must absolutely be fusion summoned, so it cannot be special summoned from the graveyard even after it is properly summoned. So that's notable, but what we could do is we could SP this and it'll come back. Or we could technically negate Light and Darkness Dragon, perhaps? I don't know the exact ruling for this, but if we negate it, will its attack and defense points come back? Maybe. I'm genuinely not knowledgeable enough about attack and defense changing rulings because those trip me up pretty hard. So, alright. This must absolutely be fusion summoned, and you must use a level 8 light dragon monster and a level 8 dark dragon monster, so they have to be exactly level 8 light and dark dragons. Okay. Once per chain, if a spell trap card or monster effect is activated, quick effect, this card loses exactly 1000 attack defense, and if it does negate the activation. So this is a mandatory effect, just like good old Light and Darkness Dragon. Okay. This card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card. You can target one dragon monster in your graveyard special summon it. So this is pretty much bar for bar what Light and Darkness Dragon did, but now it's a fusion version. So the only deck that I can imagine making this as of currently, I mean, yeah, this would probably just be branded. So we have Lubellion and Albion, which we can just use for Light and Darkness Dragonlord, which properly summons it, I guess. Pairing this with SP, I don't know about that, but we could make Light and Darkness Dragonlord, I guess. Well, alright, not a whole lot to say about this. Target a dragon monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Is Mirror Jade not a worm? Or is it a dragon? I don't recall. Genuinely, we'll have to check. Okay then. Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon. What are you? This is a worm, so you cannot bring back Mirror Jade. Okay. So we got that taken care of. I have no idea what dragon you would bring back, aside from maybe, I guess, like Serenir or Magnuma, which is still decent. But alright. Next, we have Drytron Meteonis DA Draconids. So it immediately says you in ritual summon this card with Meteonis Drytron, which is crazy because that means we can use preparations to add this plus Meteonis Drytron, I believe. Okay, and then other Drytron monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So this one can still be destroyed. Interesting. Twice per turn when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish Drytron monsters minimum 1 from your graveyard whose total attack equals or exceed the original attack of that monster, negate the activation if you do destroy it. So I think you do get a lot of Drytrons in your graveyard, and you could have the Drytron rituals in your graveyard as well. So this is not hard to do, and this is 2 pieces of interaction, so that seems pretty strong. This ritual summon card in its own control is destroyed by an opponent's card. You can special summon a ritual monster with 4000 attack from your hand or deck. So this is not properly summoning it in the sense that it's not a ritual summon. Wait. Hold up. Oh. Okay, so it says special summon a ritual monster, so it doesn't specify what ritual monsters. So this is basically saying you can special summon any ritual monster right here. But it does have the restriction of being a monster that possesses 4000 attack. So I think it has to be one of the Drytron rituals. Alright, I was panicking for a little bit there. From your hand or deck, this is treated as a ritual Oh, never mind, this is properly summoning it technically. Wow, what the hell is that? Alright, I guess it does properly summon it. Alright. And then that's not new, that's just Light and Darkness Dragon. Alright, let's take a look at Vidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction. I haven't read any cards beyond this point. During the main phase, if this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can target one card in a field zone, special summon this card to your opponent's field, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can add to your hand or set one Ashened continuous trap from your deck. Interesting. If this card is sent from your opponent's field to your graveyard, you can destroy all monsters on the field. Optional. Alright. So this card already, just by itself, looks pretty damn good. So this guy right here is a little bit better than Ghost Ogre when we're particularly dealing with field spells. So the thing about field spells is if I were to activate like Therion Coliseum, I can't actually find a good timing to Ghost Ogre it. If we were against maybe like the Gimmick Puppet field spell, we could Ghost Ogre the effect to do a Monster Reborn. But with Vidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, we'd be able to stop the searches on all the field spells just period. Just with how the Tenpai field spell ended up working out, Ghost Ogre is sufficient. But Vidos here, because this special summons from your hand, this can't be hit by like a Called by the Grave. So that's pretty nice as well. And you're actually building up technically, I guess, some advantage here because you're able to set a Ashen continuous trap for the next turn, whether it can be destroyed or not, or something like that, I guess could be a little relevant. So we'll have to see like how good the Ashen continuous trap is. But yeah, this seems pretty solid here for the time being, I guess. Its level is kind of weird, being a level 9, so I'm not 100% sure how to feel about this yet. And we can only use each effect of Vidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, once per turn. So we can use both effects in the same turn, so seems pretty solid if we're just looking at Vidos by itself. Priestess of the Ashen City. If opposite the Ashen City is in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. Alright. Oh. For lore reasons, I'm assuming Vidos destroys the city then. Okay. Is the combo trying to tell a little story? Is that the idea? Well, alright. Either way, you can only special summon Priestess of Ashen City once per turn this way, so you can special summon Priestess more than once, I guess, unlike kind of Primera. Primera, you can technically special summon multiple times, as long as you don't activate the effect to search. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Ashen card from your deck to your hand, except for a Priestess of the Ashen City. So, wait, we can add Ashen City? I guess? Oh, alright. This is just a searcher, I guess. Oh, new Drytron card. Drytron, new 2. So, same restriction as every other Drytron card. If a Drytron card is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. So that's new. If this card is special summon, you can add one Drytron monster from your deck to your hand, except for Drytron new 2. So this is just for consistency, I guess. You can only use each effect once per turn. Also, you can ritual summon the turn you activate either of this card's effect, except for machine monsters. Oh, so this is support for Drytron directly, and this doesn't help if you're trying to make Herald like plays and whatnot. So that's kind of neat, I guess. Lord of the Missing Barrows. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 3 cards from your graveyard. 1 monster, 1 spell, and 1 trap. So this already is not too hard to do. Alright. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can banish 1 monster and 2 spell traps from your opponent's field and or graveyard. Okay, now it's looking pretty useless. So the only time that this special summoning this is going to be remotely useful would be if my opponent has already played the game, I guess, for the most part. Aside from this, you could banish these cards from the graveyard, I guess, which doesn't seem that useful. So yeah, Lord of the Missing Barrows. I'll say it looking pretty useless. I mean, summoning it's not like that bad, but getting this to your hand as well, because this isn't part of an archetype, that's pretty awkward. Will Charmy Perolia. If you control no cards, quick effect, you can discard this card, apply these effects. This turn, each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster from the hand, immediately draw 1 card. Once per turn during the end phase, if the number of cards in your hand is more than the number of cards your opponent controls plus 6, you must randomly shuffle cards from your hand into the deck so the number in your hand equals the number of your opponent controls plus 6. You can only activate one other Mulcharmy monster effect the turn you activate this effect. So before we really get into talking about the Mulcharmies, I'll probably save that for like its own video. But general overview is that this is just a worse version of Maxi. So immediately we don't really want this over Maxi. If Maxi were to be banned for whatever reason, we could just craft Perilia if you really like this type of effect. So all in all, not much to say here. But you also have to keep in mind, like, you want very quality cards to draw off of your Maxi like effects, and this is taking up those slots essentially. So if your deck is able to play like maybe 13 non-engine and we have to run 3 Mulcharmy Perilia and 3 Maxi, you might only be able to then fit like Ash Blossom Imperm, which is at best like maybe 4 interactions, and a lot of decks are actually becoming more hand trap resistant. So I mean, there is a legit issue here that you might not be able to deal with. So that's just something to keep in mind. And we'll go into that more in depth later. And then we have Fuelos here, which is pretty much the same effect, except this is if your opponent special summons from either the deck or extra deck. And then Super Bully's in here. Cool, I guess. Bonfire. All right. Okay, so these guys have more fusion monsters. If this card is fusion summon, you can target a field spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's pyro monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if it is your turn, this card can make a second attack in a row. Okay, what if our opponent's not on a pyro monster? What does this guy do then? That's kind of just like, huh? Alright. 2 pyro monsters to make this. Alright, sure, whatever. Chaos, Star Source, Dragon 1 Light, or Dark Dragon Monster, plus 1 Dragon Monster. So that's 3 guys. Okay. If this card is Fusion Zone, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of light and dark monsters used as this card's material, destroy them. So I'm going to assume you would use 3 guys for this. So that is a pop 3. Huh. It's also targeted. Well, alright, I guess. If this card is banished, you can target a level 4 light or dark dragon monster you control. Its level becomes 8. Huh. Alright. You can only use each effect of Chaos, Star Source, Dragon once per turn. Well, I mean, I only really see this being made in Branded, but yeah, it's just like mass removal you could play in Branded, I guess, because you do in fact run light and dark dragon monsters and dragon monsters. So let's assume in my graveyard I have maybe Lupelion, Albion, whatever. We could have those guys, and then like Serenir, Fallen of Elbaz, that perfectly can do this, I guess. And then these are all like old cards, chaos cards. Interesting. This card doesn't look like it belongs to an archetype. Mika Zuki no Yaiba, the Moon Fang Dragon. During the end phase, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon it, but place it on the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field. You can discard 1 card, add 1 level 7 Dark Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So that's the on-field effect. Seeming pretty trash because it only adds specifically level 7 Dark Dragon monsters. I don't know any good level 7 Dark Dragon monsters, but I mean, maybe there is something good, and I'm just missing it. That's a machine. That was the only level 7 monster I kind of see around here. It's not a well, it's not a dragon. Oh, this is not correct either. Alright, keep going. Pyrite Knight. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 1 warrior monster, earth or fire you control, except for Pyrite Knight, return it to the hand. If you special summon this card, then special summon a Pyrite token to your opponent's field in defense position. Oh. This card's concerning, but alright. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can special summon a warrior monster from your hand. Vaguely, this can be Warrock support, but the concerning effect is obviously this one, because you're giving your opponent a monster, so we all know what Isolde does, right? And then we look at Pyrite Knight over here. If this was a Fire Warrior, this would be a little bit more concerning, but it's not, I guess, so we have that. But if we special summon a Pyrite token to our opponent's field in defense position, we can do things to that token with, not Isolde, with Geonator Transverser. So that's the main concern, I guess. Isa, the Dragoness of Deranged Devotion. If this card is special summoned, you can place one deranged counter on one face-up monster your opponent controls, and it cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link summon while it has that counter. So this is whenever this is special summoned, so if we can special summon this on our opponent's turn, we can kind of make usage of that effect. And notably, this does not target. Alright. That's actually not the worst thing in the world, but alright. The start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster with a deranged counter, you can destroy that opponent's monster, and if you do, both players take damage equal to the original attack. Also destroy this card at the end of this battle phase. You can only use each effective Isa, the Dragoness of Deranged Devotion, once per turn. So far, effect, not really impressing me. There's no real synergy to really abuse with the first effect as of currently. Not that I know of, at least. You'd banish a level 8 Dragon Monster from your extra deck, special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except for Dragon Monsters. This vanishes from the extra deck, a level 8 Dragon Monster, so it would be Chaos Star Source Dragon, I guess? That would adjust a lower level dragon for you, I suppose. During your main phase, you infusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Okay. I got you. So this is a new way to make like the new Light and Darkness dragon, I guess. Alright. Seems sensible enough. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can make this card lose exactly 500 attack defense, and if you do, the opponent's monster loses 1,500 attack. So that effect's not that useful, I guess. Wait, when is this? What, on attack declaration. So yeah, that's kind of garbage. The fact that that doesn't happen near damage step, but alright. Dark End Evaporation Dragon. You mash a level 8 Dragon Monster from your extra deck, special summon this card from your hand. Also, you are Dragon Locked. You can only activate one of these effects. Fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Target one other attack position monster of the field, make this card lose exactly 500 attack defense, and if you do, destroy that monster. Oh boy, now we can just say, dude, you didn't play around Dark End Evaporation Dragon. Should have summoned it in defense. Great. That's something else to play around, I suppose, just randomly. But yeah, it's basically the same effect as Light End Sublimation Dragon. Not much else to say, I guess. Oh, Chaos Space. Oh, right. Cannot be normal summon / set. These guys can be normal summoned, right? Oh. So Chaos Space doesn't actually do anything. In terms of like these guys. Alright, sure, whatever. XYZ Force, that's new. Send one XYZ card from your deck to the graveyard except for XYZ Force, or if an XYZ monster is on the field that has an XYZ monster's material, you can add the XYZ card to your hand instead. During the main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Detach one material from an XYZ monster on either field, then if the detached material was an XYZ monster, you can special summon that monster from your graveyard or your banishment in defense position. So this would have to be in your graveyard to activate, I guess. Is there a good XYZ card to actually send off of XYZ Force? Huh. We'll have to look into that later, I guess. Obsidian Ashened City. Okay, so Ashen doesn't look like that horrendously expensive to make. Nothing in this pack looks horrendously expensive. That's a good start. Considering like one card here and then this. Let's assume we can play this as a 1 over a 2 of, so that's like 5 URs. I mean, there are URs that you might need before, but actually Thubin's an SR. Yeah. And Meteonis is also a UR, but Meteonis isn't in here. So that doesn't look too expensive to make. Ashened, we like, even assuming this is a 3 of, which I'm not going to be 100% sure yet, that would only be 6 UR, so that's, like, not horrendous. Alright, we're back to here. Roll one. Obsidian at the Ashened City. Face up special summon monsters your opponent controls become pyro during your turn only. Okay, so that is why we have the pyro effect. Makes more sense now. You can only use each of the following effects of Obsidian, the Ashened City once per turn, but you can technically use both. Okay. During your end phase, you target one Obsidian, the Ashened City in your graveyard, place it on the bottom of your deck, then draw one card. Huh. Okay. If this card in the field zone is destroyed or banished, you can special summon one Ashen monster from your deck. So both of these effects are overall good. We'll have to see the other main deck monsters, I guess. Awakening of Vitos. Place one Obsidian Ashen City from your deck face up in either field zone. Wait, what? Huh. Not sure how useful that effect is. And then face up special summon monsters your opponent controls become pyro during your turn only. That doesn't do anything, right? So if I were to give my opponent a copy of Obsidian, the Ashen City, then they would just have it, and it doesn't do anything. It would just turn my guys into pyros. Okay. Continuing on, place Obsidian in either field zone. Then if your opponent controls a card in their field zone, you can add one level 5 or higher dark pyro monster from your deck to your hand. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the... Wait, this is for the rest of the turn, not the whole turn. Okay. You cannot special summon from the deck or extra deck except for pyro monsters. Sure. These guys are presumably all pyro, right? Pyro. Okay. And the guy we're adding is probably just going to be a Vitos, which then this is just a one card starter, I guess. Extinguishing the Ashen. Send a dark pyro monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add one level 5 or higher pyro monster from your graveyard to your hand. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except for pyro monsters. So same kind of restriction. You can banish this card from your graveyard fusion, summon one pyro fusion monster from your extra deck using only monsters from your hand or field as material. Okay, so we don't seem to have any quick fusion like effects. Alright, I guess. And this can be effectively a Rhoda like this, I guess. Huh. Okay, I suppose. I don't know if there's any like graveyard trigger, so if we already had like maybe a Vitos in the graveyard, we could do the effect to send like another guy and then add Vitos if we already use Vitos. Don't know if that's really relevant. Dragon's Light and Darkness. Alright, new card. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Dragon Light and Darkness once per turn. Shuffle a level 8 monster from your hand into the deck and then add one level 8 dragon monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. So this adds any level 8 dragon as long as it has a different attribute from whatever you had. So for example, if I were to shuffle a level 8 fire dragon, I could add a level 8 water dragon, a level 8 earth dragon, or whatever. Okay, I guess. Target a dragon monster you control that gains attack equal to its level times 200. When a card or effect is activated that targets a dragon monster you control, negate that effect. So I see. These two effects can be used in tandem with your light and darkness fusion or actual light and darkness dragon. You simply have to chain dragon's light and darkness to something else, and it'll negate whatever is happening like in this order. So it's like chain 1, whatever's activating, chain 2, light and darkness dragon, and then we can chain 3 dragon's light and darkness, and this won't be negated. I guess that's the idea. Pretty cool, I guess. And in this case, its level will be what level is it actually? What level are you guys? 8? 10. So this would gain 1 additional negate, I guess. Like, yeah, I guess it's fine. Not that impressive, but whatever. Final Bringer of the End Times. Target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. Oh, now this card. This card's cooking. This card's actually pretty great. So this allows you to dodge a targeted effect and also trade it off by destroying one card your opponent controls. So this can also get rid of back row. So this is back row removal and also monster removal. This is kind of just generic removal. Final Bringer of the End Times. Looks like a great card. I want a playset of this immediately. Double Die. Activate one of these effects. If you control no monsters, special summon one level 4 warrior monster from your deck. Target one warrior monster you control, special summon a earth warrior monster from or with an equal or lower level from your deck or graveyard. What? Okay, I guess. Queen Dragon Jin. That's not a new card. Okay. Now we keep on rolling. King of the Ashened City. If Obsidian is in the field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. And same restriction, same effect, so we won't be reading that anymore. During your main phase, you can special summon a Ashen monster from your hand, except for King of the Ashen City. So far, this effect does not seem useful because they can kind of just special summon themselves. But alright. Or if your opponent controls a monster with 2,800 or more attack, oh right, you gave them Vitos. So, since they control Vitos, you can special summon a guy from your deck because you give your opponent Vitos. You don't actually control Vitos, I guess. Oh, that's kind of neat, actually. This also heavily plays around Imperm because if our opponent controls cards, they can't Imperm. So that's actually kind of interesting to think about, I guess. And also, like, well, I guess they can Gamma the dragon. Well, alright. Okay, Hero of the Ashen City. During the main phase quick effect, you can target a power monster on the field, destroy it, then if you destroyed Vitos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction by this effect, you can place one Obsidian Ashened City from your deck face up into your field zone specifically. So in this case, that's how you're proccing the effect to draw card. But does Vitos do something when it's destroyed? Oh yeah, it destroys specifically all cards on the field. Optional, right? Yeah. This destroys your own field as well, technically. Yeah. Hopefully you have some extension from here. And also this was the fusion effect, right? You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. So you can't use monsters from the graveyard, so activating that effect doesn't seem like that beneficial yet. Dino Vatus Dacus. You can only special summon this guy once per turn. Just period. If you control 2 or more dinosaur monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay. You contribute 1 level 4 or lower monster. Doesn't have to be a dinosaur, it can be any monster, I guess. Special summon a dinosaur monster from your deck that is 2 levels higher or lower than the tribute monster had on the field, but destroyed during that phase. This is a little weird. I have no idea what this is doing, but seems like maybe a decent card depending on like the targets and how it functions overall. We'll need to really look at that, I guess. Jungle Dweller. Wow, that's pretty freaky. Can't be normal summon slash set. Must be special summoned by a card effect. Wait a second. Is this? No, that's Unearth. This can be added off of Chaos Base, right? Huh. Well, there are 2 cards in the field zone, so your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Jungle Dweller once per turn. You can banish 1 light or dark monster from your graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. This card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card. You can shuffle up to 2 of your field spells from your graveyard or banishment into the deck, then you can destroy up to that many cards your opponent controls. Oh, what? This card seems kind of freaky, a little bit too freaky for me, honestly. Alright then. In Papa's Footsteps. If a card is sent to the graveyard, except in Papa's Footsteps, banish up to 5 cards from your graveyard face down. Then if 7 or more of your cards are currently banished face down, your opponent banishes as many cards as possible from the graveyard, max 5 face down. Okay, that card seems kind of useless to me. Moving on. Rekindling the Ashened. Place 1 of your Ashen cards that is banished or in your graveyard on the bottom of your main deck, except for Rekindling the Ashened. Attack one effect monster your opponent controls negate its effects until the end of this turn. I mean, seems fine. I don't know how you're searching this though. Interdimensional matter or witter. You can target one monster on the field, banish it, then return it to the field. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field whose effects are negate, banish it, then return it to the field. Wait, what? If your opponent activates a card or effect, then you banish a negated monster on the field. Okay. Before resolving an opponent's effect that targets this card on the field, banish this card until the end phase of the next turn. Oh, so this is actually obnoxious to out as well. You can only use each effective interdimensional for matter forwarder once per turn. I don't really know how we're doing this though. You can target one monster on the field, bash it, then return it to the field. So we can just do this immediately. Oh, wait, we can use this on our own cards. So if it's an... Oh, this is trippy. If we have an ignition effect monster, like... Or something like that, right? Or our opponent has a trigger kind of negate. Yeah, that's it. If our opponent has like a trigger type effect, certain effects like Book of Moon type effect, or maybe they have a negate monster effect, like the Mayakashi Link 4. If they try to use that, we can use interdimensional matter forwarder to banish our own monster, return it to the field, or we could use this on like a Baron or something to get its negate back. Whatever's fine. Either way, the end result is our opponent's effect will be eventually traded off by this effect. So our face down guy can now be kind of not quite resummoned, but like effectively we can put a face down monster back face up like this, or we could get our monster unnegated, I guess. So that's kind of neat. Then we have Ashened to Endlessness. So this is the Drytron continuous, or not Drytron, the Ashened continuous trap that was mentioned earlier. During the main phase, you can fusion summon a Pyro Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as material. Oh! Now that effect's kind of good. Alright. Including Vidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, and if you do, it gains 500 attack for each material used. You can banish this card and one Dark Pyro monster from your graveyard. All monsters your opponent currently controls become Pyro until the end of this turn. Oh, alright. Kinda weird though. Wait. All the guys need to be Pyros, right? Huh. That doesn't work against Link monsters. But this guy is fairly generic, right? Requiring only 2 Pyro monsters, so you can always reliably make Embers of the Ashened, I guess. Well, I'm not sure how good that is. Alright. Oh, there's actually another con trap. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Vidos, the Eruption Dragon of Extinction, or 1 Ashen monster from your graveyard to your hand. Oh. Okay. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls that you own. Wait, what? Target a face-up monster your opponent controls that you own? Oh, so Vidos, I guess. Take control of that monster, then you make all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose attack equal to the targeted monster's original attack. This attack change lasts until the end of this turn. Okay, that's not great. Alright, I guess. Tricorn, the Cacophonous Concert. If a monster in your possession is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one monster in your graveyard with both the same type and attribute. As a monster you control, add that monster to your hand. Not that bad, honestly, Tricorn. But it has to be... Is it? Oh wait, we can destroy our own cards to trigger this. There might be a usage for this. Potentially. Shaman of the Ashen City. Okay, special summon itself, yeah. You can target 3 of your pyro monsters that are banished or in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck. Then if you shuffled an Ashen monster, you can add one Obsidian, the Ashened city, from your deck to your hand. Obsidian recycles itself, I believe. Alright. I guess. Spearhead of the Ashen City. If your opponent controls a monster with 2,800 or more attack, you contribute this card. Then target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So this can return just any card, and it tributes itself. This outs Floodgates. Nice card. Alright. Not a whole lot to say. We can return technically Vitos with it as well. It only outs it for one turn though, I guess. Alright. Night Arm Dragon. Wait, is that new? Oh yeah. If you special summon a level 5 or higher dragon monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summon, you can make this card's attribute and level become the same as one of your banished dragon monsters. Okay. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one dragon monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. Yeah, I don't get this card like at all, or see any usage for it, but alright. Link out. Target one link monster on the field, return it to the extra deck, then you can special summon one of the monsters from your graveyard that was sent there as its link material. I guess this could be used as like a anti-underworld goddess card, kind of. But for like a normal card, this isn't that bad actually. Just overall, right? Alright. Battle card Echoes. When this card is activated, you can add one level 5 Earth Warrior from your deck to your hand. Oh. The guy earlier. Alright. So we could run technically 6 copies of that guy. Not sure how I feel about that, but alright. Once per turn, if a monster is returned from the field to the hand, even during the damage step, you can activate one of these effects. Ooh. Add one Battle Guard Rage or Battle Guard Howling from your deck to your hand. Change one face-up monster on the field to face-down defense position. Wait, wasn't that a quick effect or something? Private Knight. Quick effect, special summon a warrior monster from your hand. Oh, never mind. Okay. Huh. Balgard Rage. Okay, a warrior monster you control gains 1,000 attack. Monsters destroyed by battle with it are returned to the hand instead of going to the graveyard. Weird. The monster leaves the field, destroy this card. Balgard Howling. When a warrior monster you control is targeted for an attack or by an opponent's monster effect, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Inflict damage to your opponent equals to the original attack of the face-up monster you targeted with this card, and if you do, return it to the hand. Burn. Balgard Cadet. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Feast of the Wild level 5 from your deck to your hand. You contribute this card, special summon a level 8 warrior monster from your hand. Okay, so looking not that good. Meteora Drytron. If a Drytron card is banished except during damage step, you contribute one Drytron monster, then target up to 2 of your banished Drytron cards, add them to your hand. You can reveal one Meteora Drytron in your hand, ritual summon one machine ritual monster from your hand or graveyard by tributing machine monsters from your hand or field whose total attack equals or exceed its attack. I mean, this card just looks fine in general. So yeah, that's everything new that has been added this update. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.